Sunday, December the 2nd, 2012, and I'm out here in Buckinghamshire. December's arrived in appropriate fashion. Very frosty, cold morning today. Temperature not expected to get above 4 degrees. However, the sun gods are looking down on me again because pretty blue sky, and weather's forecast to be sunny all day. So, good walk anticipated, all 9.5 miles of it. As I said last week, I'm aiming to tidy up book 1 and 2. So this is book 1, walk 40, Gerrard's cross through to Cookham. I don't think I've walked from Gerrard's cross before, which is interesting. So I don't recognise this station. But yeah, so book 1, walk 40 being undertaken today. Let's press on. It's about 10:15. Got a fast train up here, takes 17 minutes. So plenty of time to complete the walk today. Okay, walking parallel to the station car park down below, point 2 of the text, and you can see here how sharp the frost was last night. It's not quite so evident in London, albeit that there is a sharp frost there as well, but not to this degree. I do believe I may have just heard a bullfinch, that rare creature that I've been hoping to sight for months. I can hear it, but I can't see it. Pretty sure it's a bullfinch. Also, memory serves me well, Gerrard's cross is the place where there was a big fight between Tesco's and the local residents. I just detected a small Tesco's above the bridge near the station. I think it was here where that was that massive fight. Tesco's won, of course. Interesting. Point 3 of the text. I've just come across this boundary. Not quite sure what it's about, but I'm sure someone watching this video might be able to enlighten us. The Great Central Railway, Great Western, God knows, Joint Boundary Committee. Looking back towards Gerrard's Cross Station, and just in a distance there you can make out the Tesco store I was on about. Point 4 of the text this is, crossing over the railway lines. Do like texts that are written with point numbers. Makes it easier for the reader, makes it easier for the listener, and also for me to commentate on. I appreciate that they might change over time, but they don't seem to change much in my opinion. Sorry, me having said good things about point references in the text. The last shot was in point 3. This is point 4, following the well-worn footpath towards the A40. Getting a bit more rural now as we pass the fringes of Gerrard's Cross. Point 6 of the text, passing through the metal kissing gate to enter Bulstrode Park, which is very festive looking with its frosty white covering. It was around about this time last year that I was walking in ankle deep snow, so this it's not too far distant. You can Google Bulstrode Park to find out more about it. Looking back at the imposing main courthouse with further views of the park. Onward journey straight up the hill. Walking today is pretty good underfoot because it's so hard, but there would be occasions, obviously, like last weekend, when it could be pretty muddy. Having reached the top of the hill, or the incline I'd call it, further views back of Bulstrode Park, which appears to have a collection of wild ponies here. Can't pan too much further to the right because of the low sun. Looks like the old manor at Bulstrode is now used by a international company, WEC. Stood here at the driveway. Shot there of a bit of the manor. Very gothic looking. Lovely. Continuing straight ahead, per the text, up this private driveway, and then continue on between these posts, following a Chiltern Society footpath marker there. Not that one, the one on top. That noise in the background tells us we're not too far from Luton Airport again. Further views of this lovely mid-morning scenery. It is very pleasant at the moment, not many people about, which is great. Nice and frosty. Just me, the distant hum of aeroplanes and the A40 really. Cut the latter two out and it would be great. Views at point 8 of the text, where we turn left. That way, following this green fence. 9 of the text refers to a lake on the right hand side. Here it is, and frozen over in places. Omnipresent mallard and a coot over there. M40 noise in the distance now. Another victim of the strong winds, though probably not the more recent ones. It is possible to either go under or round this though. This is at the end of the lake on the right hand side as we enter open scrub land next to pylons. Despite the frost, this section is actually almost like a little river, as you can see. Probably being under the pylons has given off some warmth, I don't know, but plenty of water here. Crossing the noisy M40, and then immediately after the bridge taking this stile on the left. Okay, there's a little warning there about an Alsatian on the loose on the other side of the fence. Contact details there, but hopefully they don't apply to us because we're turning right before the fence. Pond at Hedgerley Green. Our onward journey's right here, I do believe. Just stood opposite Bulstrode House. 14 of the text, following the bridleway for 500 metres. And I don't know whether it's Sod's or Murphy's, but whichever law it is, the sun invariably always seems to be against me during the winter months, I've noticed. Just one of those little things that annoys me. Well, there you go. See, it's on my left. I can't pan that way at the moment. Looking on the bright side though, rather have the sun than the rain. Also looking on the bright side, it's only 3 weeks to go to the shortest day. That suddenly lifts your mood straight away, doesn't it? Just 3 weeks, lovely. And this being a bridle way, as per usual, well churned up. Could be a nightmare in the rainy months, or after rain. Luckily today though it's not too bad because of the frost. But that's burning off now as we approach 11:30. In 14, text refers to a stile, as usual, now a kissing gate. We carry on down this hill with the sound of kites in the background now. Pretty much what you'd expect in this area. It's good to hear that they're rapidly spreading now. Been seen as far afield as Royston, along the Chiltern extension. Very lovely valley view there, just after that kissing gate. Church at Hedgerley. Mary the Virgin. No clock on this one. Very pleasant location. Church advertising. Doesn't look like they do tea and cakes in the afternoon like last week at Chalden. Mind you, there's a service going on right now. Just behind the White Horse pub, Hedgerley. Information board here about the glebe field, and there's a picture of said kites. There's a church up there on the hill. White Horse pub, which as you can see does teas and coffees. So now about 11:45, possible early tea stop. Another iced over village pond. Buckinghamshire's best kept village for a number of years. They're obviously that confident that they've made a column in anticipation of future awards. Mind you, I've seen this award dished out to a number of villages in the county in my travels. So it does seem to get widely distributed. This information board was clearly erected in 2002, a decade ago already. Walking away from the village up this delightful kiln lane. Turn left here off the lane and into Woodland. Delightful woodlands. Having just come through the deer gate. Yellow water marker. As mentioned in the text, old nursery court in the background. Our onward journeys down this narrow passageway. Point 18 of the text, we're told to go right here, 230 degrees. Both arrows, interestingly, point left now, but I'm going to stick with the text. Onward journeys that way. Just come through the broken wooden barrier there mentioned in the text, so I know I'm on the right path. On the left now as well, probably since the text was written, there's a new greenish fence which I'm stood at the corner of. Yeah, we're definitely on the right road. And the even more appropriately named lane. So we've just passed St Andrew's Day, and Christmas Day's not far off. So a little bit of road walking here along the busy A355. Now getting back into Woodland though. In fact, that was a B road I've just left behind me, point 21 of the text, and I'm about to cross the busy A355 and enter Egypt Woods, interestingly named. Okay, what a lovely beech wood this is. Classic Chiltern scenery here, holly and beech, with the remnants of the distant leaf fall now. So, wonder how the Stranglers happened to get their song by this title, Burnham Beeches. A little known track, but does exist. Maybe Hugh and company were up here once upon a time. Have to check the song by song book, get to the bottom of that one. Anyway, once again, Corporation of London Territory do own some land, don't they? Egypt Lane. 23 of the text, continuing straight on, slightly right. Now entering a part of the Portman Birtley estate. And that's very interesting what they've written there about dead trees. Good to see that. We're now about to follow this broad ride through the woodland, continuing to follow that circular walk symbol. All pathways off for 900 metres. What a beautiful wood this is. Mixed deciduous woodland. Well, and coniferous as well. Delightful. As I say, shame about the proximity of Luton Airport, really. The flight path, anyway. Almost a hidden trap there as you come down that incline. It's covered in leaves and frost, with about 4 inches of water there. It's actually a little stream. Enjoy that few minutes of silence. All I can hear is the drips of thawing frost. Climbing uphill again as the jet noise returns. Okay, reaching the two low circular walk indicators, we carry straight on. Leaving Egypt Wood, come out into open countryside again. Not far from the lunchtime stop now. It's about 20 to 1, so good timing. 27 of the text. Keep straight on. Coming up to the hamlet of Littleworth Common. I won't be recording the optional extension to the other pub, the Blackwood Arms. Rather, I'll be continuing on to the Jolly Woodman and hoping that the chapel marked on the map has some kind of seating area. Interesting, there's Common Lane, but the pub doesn't seem to be marked on my 1 to 50 map. Anyway, not to worry, I'm not going there, so it doesn't matter. So leave the road here at the second right turn, following this lane down to the Jolly Woodman. So here is the said pub, beneath the flight path clearly. It's got a very busy car park, which I'm not going to film, but believe me it has. No recession in leafy Bucks. And from another angle, with a board there indicating the opening hours on a Sunday, 12 to 4. And close by the other days. There you go, you've got a shot at the car park after all. In the footpath immediately opposite the pub door, I notice we're going to turn right shortly and end up at the parish church of St Anne. I could use one of these benches, but let's see what the church of St Anne holds. And here she blows. Very overgrown graveyard, but very pleasant nonetheless. Hope there is a bench in here. Albeit it's next to quite a busy road. Go. St Anne's Dropmore. And if push comes to shove, you can all sit in that storm porch. As I said last week when it started raining, thank God for storm porches. The 1 o'clock on the button. I will make use of this storm porch. There are no chairs outside. And it's probably better anyway because it's a tad warmer in here, I guess. Although it is very pleasant at the moment, being about 4 or 5 degrees C. Let's get fed. Okay, 1:30. Soup has been had. And the onward journey straight ahead of me between the posts in that little car park there. Rather handy. Okay, just crossed Domey Wood Road, and this is the first indication I've seen of the pub, the Blackwood Arms. Not much of a sign indicating it, is it? Anyway, there's the website for those that are interested. You can check out the menu there. It's got Wi-Fi, etc. Although I can't get a signal here. Onward journeys over that way, across that main road. Well, relatively main for this area. Now following the Beeches way through this kissing gate. And you can see why it's so called. Point 34 of the text, the style's now gone, but the pathway between fences ahead is still clear. It's got a bit cloudier now, sun's disappeared, meaning the temperature's dropped a bit. About 2 now, I'd guess. Yeah, as I thought, looking at the map, as well as following the Beeches way, which is probably more recent, we're also on the long distance Shakespeare's way. Not sure if you can read that there. Okay, just branching off of Sheepcote Lane, and it's absolutely amazing how much litter there is walking down the road. I mean, this is I think we're Royal Berks now, aren't we? Don't think we're in Bucks any longer, not sure, but either ways it's absolutely incredible. 300 metres of road I've just walked along, and it is absolutely littered. Really need to do something about this, because clearly volunteers alone can't stay on top of it. Got to get chain gang prisoners on it, or unemployed, one or the other. Make people appreciate the countryside, you know. They wouldn't toss it out of their cars if it was punishable in that way. Mind you, they wouldn't have a car if they were unemployed or a prisoner, would they? Amazing. Loads of rhododendron in there. It's all well and good while the mature trees are above it, but what's going to happen when we try to replant? The rhododendron will just smother the young saplings, but that might be a good point to get rid of the rhododendron, I suppose. Anyway, continuing along the Beeches way, and the jet noise at this point is probably coming out of Heathrow as opposed to Luton. Not sure if you can make that out on the silhouette, but that's an unusual sight. You've got about half a dozen kites there sitting in that tree. Unfortunately at the minute, what I can capture is their silhouette. See if I can get them from another angle in a moment. No, even from the roadside, that's the best I can do. Lights against me, really. Still, shows what the cold weather does to them even. .38 of the text, following Branch Lane. Point 39 of the text, now going down onto the Chiltern Way Berkshire loop, which is where that couple are headed. Now following the Chiltern Way down Church Path. as opposed to turning left there through the forest. Now, a tricky problem I have is that my breath might be getting into the vision. Hot air, which I'm usually full of. 40 of the text, descending down this lovely wooded valley. Not much noise in here apart from those ducks. Delightful. Okay, just as we come to the end of this greenway, Lord Boston's Mock Castle Folly, whoever Lord Boston was. One for Google. Name does ring a bell actually. He might have been an earl at one point. 18th century, Victorian anyway, I'd imagine. This in-gate there is extremely difficult to get through with a rucksack on your back. For anything more than a 34-inch waist, an average height, and you've got a pack on your back, it's one of those ones that's difficult to get through. Okay, let's do the detour. St Nicholas, Parish Church of Hedsor. Christmas programme there. Today being the first day of Advent. First Sunday of Advent anyway. What a delightful little church this is. Superbly maintained. These are the views from the front door. Fantastic, eh? Shame the sun's not out. Still, can't get it all, I suppose. Delightful. From another angle. Lovely little place. With views back to the Folly. Get a better view of it from here. Nicely positioned bench here, just outside the church grounds, which affords lovely views as well. She's got a cup of tea and a flask. Good place to have it. As you can see, look at these views with the setting sun there. About 3 o'clock now, so we've got about an hour left of daylight. Lovely with the white patches of frost. Feel a bit like Felix Baumgartner now, when he said, if only you could see what I can see. Mind you, I wouldn't want to be up there, sitting in my tin can, the man who fell to earth. Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. So that's well worth a 15-minute diversion, I'd say. Must be glorious on a hot summer's day. Equally so today though, on a nice still cold winter's day. I bet that Christmas midnight communion service is something else up there. Fantastic. Rather posh gateway there. Then again, we're expecting leafy bucks. Well, it's exactly 3 o'clock, and I've just disturbed a heron, and there's a big swan over there in defensive mode. Shame we didn't get that heron, but there you go. Number of options here, as you can see. Ours is to the left, following the Beeches Way sign. Sure sign of winter is the sound of fieldfares and redwings in the hedgerows. Just heard fieldfare. Well, here we are. Now reached a very high and fast flowing River Thames. Definitely in flood mode. A few more inches of rain and it will be. Couldn't see the obelisk mentioned in the text behind this fence, even in winter. Might have missed it though. You can probably hear how fast that water's flowing. Another view back to that Folly. Good shot that, with the setting sun on its windows. Quite eerie, eh? Talking of floods, this white stuff that you can see here on my right is frozen flood water. Incredible. Quite deep in places, I'd imagine. 6 inches a foot. The onward journey is actually disturbed by that flood. Certainly can't walk across that today. So going to have to go skirt round the edge of it to get to where we need to be. As you can see, I'm having to skirt right round the edge of this field. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to get out then, but we'll soon find out. Mainly because of that flood water there. So that's either going to be water when it's mild in the winter, or ice when it's cold. Either ways, you can't get across there. Well, rather annoyingly, I've had to walk around the whole of this field. Lost about 30 minutes. But you cannot get out in that corner where you're supposed to be able to get out. So point 46 clearly needs amending to indicate that in the event of heavy rain or flood, like now, you need to do a right as opposed to going at 235 degrees. You need to go to the rightmost corner, which is the opposite one to where you should be, which means I've now got to do more road walking back to where I need to be. So probably another 10-15 minutes lost. About 3:15 now. Be lucky to get done before nightfall. Okay, this is where I should have come out, but clearly impassable from that corner over there. So at that point, when it's in flood, I suggest you do a right, follow the field boundary around the other side to the far right corner, and then follow the road. Save yourself a good half hour like I haven't done. Crossing the bridge into Cookham. As you can see, Thames is very high and fast flowing. The Trinity Church, Cookham. This side being refurbished clearly. Getting into the twilight now. Stanley Spencer's headstone. Okay, this is a church I've been to previously. There is the time, we've got about 15 minutes of daylight left. Wasn't being refurbished then, mind. I'm following the Thames path, so that's a number of footpaths we've been on today. Spencer Gallery with Cookham High Street Christmas Fair. It's good timing, isn't it? Finishes at 4 o'clock. About 15 minutes to go then. Plenty of activity going on. The Bell and Dragon pub over there for tea time refreshment. So that's memorial services in Welwyn Garden a couple of weeks ago. Christmas fairs in Cookham. All goes on in these walks, you know. As I follow the tarmac path across Cookham Moor, got the Crown on the right, more flood water over there, reminding us that we're so close to the Thames. That's the onward journey. Indicator there that this road floods regularly. So 4 o'clock, back at Cookham, which I now realise is a station I've been to before. Just under 6 hours walking time today. Started at 10:15. Train's due out at 4:15. So it's now 4 o'clock. 15-minute wait. Would have been here a lot earlier hadn't it been for that field. That's a major problem, that field, in the winter months anyway. Probably not dissimilar to Pulborough Brooks. I haven't done that walk yet either, mainly because of the flood meadow issue. Anyway, that's a fantastic walk. Excellent winter walk that, or certainly on a day when you want a shorter walk close to London. Having said that, getting back here from here is always a pain in the neck because you've got to change at Maidenhead, and with First Great Western being the way they are, you never know what's going to happen. So like I say, delightful walk that was. Book 1, walk 40, Gerrard's Cross to Cookham, completed.